Some performers can switch it off. On stage, they're a superstar, but off stage, they're just a regular person. Some, however, are always on. They never consider taking a rest, let alone retiring. Instead, they're so dedicated to their craft that they drop dead on stage. Some rockers just rock out a bit too hard, suffering heart attacks in the middle of a performance. Other celebs have passed away in front of fans in even more shocking ways. However it happens, we're here to provide you with some of the most jaw-dropping moments of stars taking their final bow in front of their audiences. Les Harvey. Scottish guitarist Les Harvey was a member of a band called Stone the Crows that was all set to follow in Led Zeppelin's footsteps. It was 1972 and the band had just released their album Teenage Licks. They were on stage for a concert in Wales. Sadly, not long into the performance, Harvey was electrocuted by an ungrounded microphone before thousands of fans. The other members of Stone the Crows didn't see a way to recover from the tragedy, and the band broke up soon after. Eric Morecambe. Eric Morecambe is a British comedy legend. The BBC even named him as one of the 100 greatest Britons of all time in the early 2000s. He was probably most well known for his hit variety show, The Morecambe and Wise Show, where he joked around alongside co-host Ernie Wise. Though the show left the air in 1977, Morecambe was a regular guest host on everything from game shows to galas. In 1984, he was performing on stage at a charity show when, after his 6th encore, he stepped off stage and collapsed from a heart attack. He died in the hospital almost 6 hours later. Sadly, it wasn't that much of a surprise. It was his 3rd heart attack. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to FOXX if you haven't already. Edith Webster. Edith Webster, a popular local artist, might take the title for the most bizarre death on this list. One night in 1986, the popular local actor was performing in the play The Drunkard at Thousand Moose Lodge in Baltimore. She was playing the role of the grandmother, a role she'd played for 8 years. Just like the almost decade of performances before, she sang her final song and slumped over dead. Her death was so realistic, she received a heartwarming round of applause from the audience. Sadly, it wasn't enough to get her heart beating again. Webster had actually passed away right there on stage at age 60. Johnny Ace. The year was 1954 and blues singer Johnny Ace was singing at a Christmas Day show at the City Auditorium in Houston. During the breaks between sets, he'd sit backstage drinking and playing with his gun. It was something he did so often, no one thought anything of it. However, this night was different. It's unclear whether Ace was playing the often ill-fated game of Russian roulette or just being silly when he pointed the gun at his head and pulled the trigger. It went off, and he never made it back on stage again. One of his songs, Pledging My Love, topped the charts for 10 weeks after he died. JOHN-ERIK HEXUM. JOHN-ERIK HEXUM was taking a break while filming the first and only season of the 1980 CBS show Cover Up. To keep himself entertained, he was shooting a .44 Magnum handgun loaded with blanks. Thinking the gun was harmless, HEXUM pointed it to his temple and pulled the trigger. Unfortunately, he collapsed when the impact forced a piece of his skull into his brain. 26-year-old HEXUM was rushed to the hospital and underwent hours of surgery, but was pronounced brain dead around a week after the incident occurred. His family agreed to take him off life support not long after. Redd Foxx. Redd Foxx is a legend in American stand-up comedy circles, having influenced superstar comedians like Chris Rock and Eddie Murphy. His career spanned film, TV, and recording, though he was perhaps best known for his role of Fred Sanford in the sitcom Sanford and Son. In 1991, Foxx was on set for his TV show Royal Family when he performed what everyone thought was a gag death scene. But it was a very real heart attack. He was rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. He died later that evening. 1 year later, the comedic genius was posthumously given a star on the St. Louis Walk of Fame. Steve Irwin. Few people have had the honor of having their death parodied by South Park. Australian wildlife expert Steve Irwin is one of those lucky few. Known by most as the crocodile hunter, he carved out a reputation for himself as someone not afraid of any animal through his globally popular TV series of the same name. While many people probably thought he would likely meet a grisly end at some point, few would have guessed death by a stingray barb. In 2006, he was filming new material for his show on the Great Barrier Reef when he was stabbed by a frightened stingray trying to defend itself. The barb on its tail lodged in his heart and killed him almost instantly. Country Dick Montana. It probably wasn't a surprise to fans when Country Dick Montana, frontman for the cowpunk band Beat Farmers, collapsed on stage. He was notorious for his hard-living, alcohol-fueled lifestyle, which eventually caught up to him. While singing in Whistler, British Columbia with his band members, he was struck down by a massive heart attack. After his death, the Beat Farmers disbanded, and his close friend and fellow country singer Mojo Nixon wrote a tribute song to him called The Ballad of Country Dick. His already completed solo album, The Devil Lied to Me, was released not long after. Brandon Lee. You could say Brandon Lee followed in the footsteps of his father, but not in the way you'd want. Just like his dad, he died too young and in a tragic way. Lee was shooting the now infamous shooting scene in the cult film The Crow when he was accidentally shot for real. The .44 Magnum revolver was meant to shoot blank rounds, but had a bullet from a dummy round lodged in the barrel. The bullet got stuck in Lee's stomach, and even though he was rushed to the hospital and underwent hours of surgery, he died not long after. Though there were rumors the actual shooting was included in the film, they are unfounded. DIMEBAG Darrell. Darrell Lance Abbott, better known as Dimebag Darrell, was a legendary heavy metal guitarist, performing in bands like Pantera and Damageplan. One night in 2004, when Abbott was performing on stage with Damageplan in Columbus, Ohio, an audience member shot 38-year-old Abbott in the head 3 times. He died on stage before paramedics could arrive. 3 more people were killed in the horrific scene, including the band's head of security, a passionate fan trying to resuscitate the fallen musician, and an employee of the venue. The shooter, Nathan Gale, was also shot and killed at the scene by police, so his motive for the murder was never revealed. Owen Hart. While TV wrestling is undeniably choreographed and staged, there's also an element of real danger. Wrestlers get injured regularly, and some, like Owen Hart, even die prematurely. Hart performed under the stage name Blue Blazer and was one of the most famous wrestlers of his day. In 1999, he was performing at the Over the Edge pay-per-view event at Kemper Arena in Kansas City when he fell 78 feet into the ring. The fall was supposed to be a part of the act, but it was poorly managed and Hart fell from too high. Though he was rushed to the hospital, he died not long after from internal injuries. John Ritter. John Ritter is one of America's sitcom legends, best known for his 1970s role as Jack Tripper on Three's Company. In 2003, he was filming his new TV show, 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter, when he started complaining of chest pain. He was rushed to the hospital and lost precious seconds when he was misdiagnosed as having a heart attack. Medical staff later worked out he suffered from an undiagnosed aortic dissection and rushed him into surgery, but he died on the operating table. The show producers dealt with the death by having his on-screen family get a phone call saying he had a heart attack while buying groceries. Now it's time to hear from you. Which of these deaths was the most shocking to you? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to FACTSverse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.